I don't know, man. Oh, hey, it worked. It finally worked. Okay, cool. Hi, Instagram. Let me move you back over here. Sorry, Instagram. You get my giant hand in your face. Okay, I'm going to take my mask off so that the deaf community can read my lips because I can't sign fast enough. Sorry. So let's get to the show. Let's see, pop culture news. We heard sad news that the voice of Cortana in Brazil was killed over the weekend by an obsessed fan, and her name is Christiana. I can't remember her last name, but yeah. So that's sad news. We thought it was the English voice actress for Katana, but no, it turns out it's the Brazilian voice actress. But it's still just as heartbreaking. I hope you guys can hear me okay. Let me get the mic over here. Cam, other pop culture news we got going on. What If? New episode tonight. Has T'Challa as Star-Lord. Can't wait for that. Any trailers drop? You mentioned trailers?
The Eternals trailer drops on Thursday.
Oh, new Eternals trailer is dropping Thursday. Anything else?
We did get new news on the Aliens show, didn't we?
There's an Alien show coming?
Show.
Yeah.
When is that?
2023.
2023. Okay.
So pushed it.
Alien show 2023.
Venom got pushed back.
What did?
Venom 2.
Oh yeah, Venom 2 got pushed back. I'm surprised because the trailers, it looks pretty complete.
Yeah.
I think it was because of the rise of the Delta.
Yeah. Okay. I heard they want to bring Buffy back with Willow's daughter as the Slayer. Oh my God, Lahaina, I'm so on board with that. How small will the created by Joss Whedon tagline be? It'll be like microscopic by now. But I am so down for that. That sounds amazing.
Can we finally talk about Batman Urban Legends number 6?
Yes, we can talk about Batman Urban Legends number 6. There are so many things to unpack from that. Right. Tim Drake, look, if you haven't seen Urban Legends, or you haven't read Urban Legends number 6, and you're gonna read Urban Legends number 6, just mute the sound for like the next, 2 minutes. I'm gonna gush about it. Tim Drake came out as bi, which was probably why it's been flying off our shelves. But more importantly, the Red Hood story, in my opinion, was way more amazing because it felt like when you reached the end of it, it healed something between Bruce and Jason Todd, like for sure. And even Bruce sent him the costume, which just kind of welcomed him back. Okay.
There's a lot of family, a lot of like father-son tension that's been going on for like
forever.
Years.
Yeah, forever.
Met, like,
and Jason grew like 3 times in that story. And on top of that, do you remember when he called out for Bruce for help and because he didn't calculate on Mr. Freeze and you see Bruce like kind of racing in the Batmobile to rescue Jason, and the whole time he's like turning over like the mistakes that led to his death.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was beautiful, man. That whole story is amazing. Chip Zdarsky, outstanding. So if you haven't read Batman Urban Legends, you need to hope that Red Hood Chip Zdarsky is going to get a trade.
He's staying on. I guess Chip Zdarsky's staying on because his Daredevil run's about to end.
Oh, nice. Outstanding. Okay, give him Red Hood. Please, give Chip Zdarsky Red Hood. Please. Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so that was amazing. Any other pop culture news? I can't think of anything.
Doom Patrol 3 comes out in September.
Doom Patrol Season 3 is coming out. I still haven't finished Season 1.
I haven't finished Season 2.
Yeah, I feel like I'm such a big DC fan, but I'm a huge comics fan. Yeah. So whenever the TV shows come out, I'm like, like I'd rather. I know, they're all good.
And it's
they're all good, but you see my reaction when I watch DC movies because, like, we watched Apocalypse War today, and I was like, at like 9/10 of it, I'm like, just getting annoyed the whole time. Oh man.
Doom Patrol show's done wonders for Brendan Fraser. He's actually back, about to film a big, a Martin Scorsese movie.
Well, and Hollywood, I saw a Hollywood Reporter article that was like, oh, Hollywood needs to welcome back Brendan Fraser. They need to bring him back into the fold. And I was like, but he's already back. Like, what?
Really, as far as movies like that, the last Mummy movie, I think, with Jet Li.
Yeah.
Was his last movie, and that was a really bad movie.
I don't know, man. I never really bonded with the Mummy movies, if I'm honest. I think I liked the first one, and then after that, I was like, meh.
It's like the Fast franchise. At a certain point, they just stopped making like career movies and just started making.
Yeah, they went into space. Like, just have Fast and the Furious fight the supernatural next, because like they might as well. Like, just... them in the money universe. Let's see that. Anyways, let's get to the reviews. We've given you as much pop culture news as I can remember in the moment my phone's going off. Of course it is. Why wouldn't it be? I'm in the middle of a review. The first is Sheridan, Henry, and Mayalo, and we're talking about Shazam. Enter Nevermore. First of all, okay, look, if you're an angel-looking character and you've got angel wings and you're calling yourself Nevermore, that's almost too emo for me. That's all I gotta say. And that was on the cover. But what I will say is, this is him and Billy sort of going into Hell's version of Vegas to try to find the Rock of Eternity. And I had a really good time with that. All things considered, that I think the character's a little too edgelordy. Yeah, okay, that's fair. But was the story good? Yes, the story was good. The art was amazing. Honestly, this art is top tier, like just really, really good art. And we do know that Billy currently is at Teen Titans Academy. Although, I don't know, he's having problems with his powers, but it's because of the Rock of Eternity missing. So
something like that. And plus, it spans from that.
So why would he be a
future state Titans?
Yeah,
Teen Titans thing.
I have issues with this. Like, why would Billy be a student in Titans Academy? I mean, I know Rebirth sort of reset things, but he's been through a lot. Let's be honest. Yeah. So, anyways, is it good? Yes, it's great. You should absolutely buy it. If you're a Shazam fan, you will love it. If you are a DC head like me, you will love it. Next is Foreman, Hawkins, Perugi, and Zamora. This is the amazing Black Cotton. This is awesome. It's a reverse. I can't really call it. It's a role reversal is what it is. In this universe, it's African Americans that are the majority and Caucasians that are the minority, and they go from there. And it's really shocking and poignant, and I get what the artist and the writer are doing, and it definitely references our times, and it's great. It's great. Every time I pick up one of these, I'm like, oh, this is going to be a tearjerker, and it sure is. But I'm having a good time with it. Cam, have you been reading Black Cotton?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so Cam hasn't been reading it, so I can't give you the Cam review. But I am having a good time with it. I think it's kind of awesome, and but again, if you're one of these people that doesn't like politics in their comics, you're strange. There's always been politics in comics. But okay. If you think there's not been politics in comics, then maybe you won't like Black Cotton. But I think it's amazing. Next is what a name. I don't know how to pronounce this name. Chhibber. This has to be an artist name, right? Chibir. There's too many H's. This has to be an artist name like Archer. Chibber, Sharma, and Broom. And we're talking about Truth and Justice. This is the Zatanna edition, and it's actually going to center around Zatanna sort of losing her powers and trying to find her way. Now, one thing I will tell you about this issue, I've liked most of the Truth and Justice. However, excuse me, I need a drink. However, this issue in particular, something about the art was not like my jam. I couldn't put my finger on it, but something about the way that faces were drawn in this art, it didn't hit it home for me. But was the story good? Yeah, the story is pretty good. It obviously she's under some kind of magic attack and she's got to figure her way out of that situation, but it's Zatanna doing what Zatanna does. And backward speech magic, just a bunch of good stuff. This issue in particular did get kind of warped in our shipment, but if you are a Zatanna fan or a Justice League Dark fan, you will probably really enjoy this.
I believe that's the finale too.
Is it the finale? Oh, I didn't know that. Sad. Next is issue 6 of Superman Red and Blue. Now, I said that the last issue was my favorite, and that's still true. However, this issue was pretty darn good. The first episode sort of centered around Supergirl's superpowered cat. First issue. The first chapter. And then the one of them was a huge tearjerker. They basically went over how Clark sort of grew as a man and as Superman, and went through like pivotal moments in his life. And some of them were fighting, but a portion of them were like putting his dad to rest. and like his son growing up, and it's just stuff that us as middle-aged guys can really relate to, and I loved it. I had a really good time with it. Is it as good as the last Superman Red and Blue? Not really. It's just shy of it, but it's still a really, really good read. The art is outstanding. I mean, there's just nothing bad about the art. The story was amazing. I had a really good time with it. Again, you'll love it if you're a Superman fan. Next is Tom King, Clay Mann, and Tomomori, and we're talking about Batman and Catwoman. Really, this is just sort of the finale for King's run, and I gotta say I love it for a couple reasons. One, Catwoman and Bruce Wayne's daughter running around in her sort of cat cross bat suit has been amazing. On top of that, Batman's fighting a version of the Phantasm and dealing with that. Meanwhile, Catwoman is trying to bond with her daughter while also freely admitting that she's the one that killed the Joker. And why? Because the Joker and Catwoman go back as far as Bruce do, and there's plenty of history there. But it was pretty. Like, the opening was amazing, and then it was like, where do you go from there? But I've had a good time with every issue. Cam, what do you think about this? It's good. You've been reading it though, right? Are you bored with it?
It's I'm a fan of the Helena Wayne Batwoman.
Yes. So Cam is a huge fan of that Batwoman, and I honestly want to see her in more stuff. We were discussing this today. Batman gave Gotham Girl platinum kryptonite, and then just, where is she? She took the platinum kryptonite and just left. She duped out. We haven't seen her since.
Someone gave her a retirement plan. She said, I'm out.
Yeah, I joked with Yogi that she's just hanging out on Mars. She's like doing the Dr. Manhattan thing. But we haven't seen her. I want to know where Gotham Girl is at currently. But well, it is what it is. Someone's giving us a bunch of love on Instagram. Thank you. Next is Brisson, Comp, and Dollhouse, and we're talking about Clown Hunter's Secret Files. Now, I did not realize that I wanted this in my life. The Clown Hunter character is a bit of an edgy edgelord. Look, he's got a bat. He's strapped a batarang to it. It's very Batman. But then he's got a mohawk made out of a broom, and he's running around killing Joker characters. Who does this remind you of? Killing Joker henchmen.
Red X?
Maybe. Nah, not so much Red X. Another Red character I could think of. Yeah. And you might actually get to see them cross paths. And this could change something in the future. So if you are a Red Hood fan, or a Clown Hunter fan, or a Punchline fan, actually, because Punchline does take a pretty big role in this, you will have an outstanding time. There was so much action in this. At times, it was almost like there was too much action. I loved every second of it. But, that sort of thing is really my jam. Now, the art was outstanding. Nothing to complain about here. It just felt like top-notch DC art. So a really good issue. But I haven't read a Secret Files that I didn't like. Have you guys read a Secret Files that you didn't like? What? Love Signal. And I liked the one that introduced the platinum kryptonite that we just talked about. So that was like 3 years ago. It was the second Secret Files. Yep. And the way they introduced it too was amazing. They were like Batman got injured, and then it shows this cutscene that is like, at the center of an impossible universe sits an impossible star. And at the center of this impossible star is an impossible kryptonite, platinum kryptonite. And if you touch it, Bruce, it'll give you all the powers comparable to mine. Superman saying to him. And then Bruce sort of has it in a box and looks at it and then calls up Alfred on the telecom and he's like, Alfred, am I good enough? And it's like, dang, dude. That hit home, dude. Brutal. Anyways, V, Blanco, and Bel Air, and we're talking about Catwoman, issue number 34. Now, Catwoman, I gotta tell you that the current sort of villain for Catwoman is very discount Asbats. He's discount Asbats with a creepy hat. That's how I feel about him. He's technically tied to Azrael's sort of origin story, so he's kind of very, I don't know, scripture-ish is a way you could put it. And he roams around being creepy with scripture and killing people because, I don't know, those things aren't counterintuitive at all, right? But anyways, so is it good? Yeah, it's good. I like it. I don't know. As far as villains go, I'm kind of indifferent about this particular villain. As for the Catwoman story, it's not bad. You get a little bit more Catwoman in your life, which I know you want, and we actually get a dash of, because you can see Batman on the cover, a dash of Bruce and Cat, or Bat and Cat, I should say, and I had a good time with it. Next is Morris. Oh, but I will tell you the arts. I'm kind of on the fence about the Catwoman art, and I never quite know why, but there you go. It's just too slightly gritty. Next is Morrison. Oh, Grant Morrison's on. Oh, that's right. Grant Morrison's on this. That's why it's weird. Morrison, Jenin, Foreman, Cagle, Osio, Belair, Sinclair, Stewart, and Chang. We're talking about Superman and the Authority. Now, the first issue was really weird, was it not, Kim? It was strange, and we were sitting there trying to piece together, like, is this the Superman from Kingdom Come? Like, is this before he put together the penitentiary, or like, what is going on here? Like, and yet this Superman is injured. So is this the Superman tied to Grant Morrison's All-Star Superman run? But it doesn't feel like this Superman feels a bit more dark and sinister at times, and he seems to be recruiting people who are, equally broody, I guess you could say. And this issue doesn't change any of that. There's no mystery answered here. This is just him putting together a team of different characters. One of them I really like happens to be Steele's niece, who has, similar powers. So that was amazing. The rest of them, I can't be bothered to care about. They're just not. Well, Midnighter's in there. I like Midnighter. But the rest of them, I don't know. They're not really my jam, and I'm not sure where he's going with this, and I'm trying to give it a chance because, it's Grant Morrison, and he's a master at what he does, although his Green Lantern run was not my favorite thing ever. But he's really a master at what he does, and we'll just wait and see. Hey, YouTube, I forgot to tell you, if you're watching us on YouTube, first of all, thank you. Second of all, sorry about the image quality. We have a new camera on the way, and we're going to fix it. I promise. So hopefully next week you get a better image on that side of things, and everyone else should be fine. Next is King, Evelyn Lopes, and this is Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Now, this Supergirl story, well, it started out, she was at her 21st birthday and decided to go out partying under a red sun, and it led to Krypto being almost killed. And now she's kind of got to find a guy who might have an antidote. And this issue in particular centers around her dealing with, well, a species of people who some are blue and find themselves that they think they're better than the purple species.
Really?
Yeah. So they're doing the whole, what was it, the Star Trek?
With the blackface,
blackface, whiteface. Yeah. So I think it's a reference to the original Star Trek series, the OG. Yeah. So, although it is half blackface. Ooh, that's. Anyways, so that's what they're doing. They're referencing racism, and actually, Supergirl herself has to deal with racism because one of the characters says, like, "Oh, you Kryptonians, you destroyed your own planet, and now here you are, just trying to ruin ours." It's like, wow, what a terrible thing to say. Anyways, so I get what King's doing, and it's good writing. I love the dialogue, but I'm kind of a giant King fan. I will say that I still like the art is. I liked the art for the first couple issues, but the art snob in me is wearing out this week. I think I'm being really snobbish about art this week, and I'm not sure why. But again, I was kind of on the fence for this issue, and couldn't put my finger on it. Anyways, next we're going to talk about something that I have the variant for too. Whoa, when I get the variant, I'll skip it. This is a damaged copy. This is Al Ewing, Crystal Frazier, Lan Medina, and Antonio Fabella, and we're talking about Gamma Flight. Now, if you don't know Gamma Flight, well, it's sort of the Alpha Flight team. Not sort of. It's the Alpha Flight team that was put together to deal with gamma mutates in the Marvel Universe. There you go. That's a perfect synopsis, right? Do you know these characters? Well, I don't know. I know some of them, like Absorbing Man and Doc Samson, and who was the kid that's connected to Absorbing Man? It was a kid that originally had like Hulk-like powers. I can't remember. I know him too. No. This is way back. But I know these characters. But again, I've said this before, like some of these characters, I just don't know all that well. And even though I read about them in Immortal Hulk, like they just, like they were awesome. They have good, like they work well together, good camaraderie. None of their names stand out for me, and I can't really figure that one out why either. Cam, do you know all these characters? You don't know them all either.
No. Didn't Scar show up?
Scar did show up in the first issue. And first 2 issues, yeah. And these current characters are being teleported away, and they can't quite find them, so they've got to sort of figure out how to do it. Meanwhile, some of the characters are actually discovering new powers. So Al Ewing tells a hell of a story. So believe me, if I'm telling you that, I can't remember the characters' names, it's not because the story is not memorable. The story is still outstanding. And this one's no different. It's pretty much just it's a spin-off from Immortal Hulk. And am I having fun with it? Yes, I'm having fun with it. How many issues are we going on this? It's what? Only 5 issues? For an Al Ewing series.
Think about it, if he's...
Oh, yeah. He's about to go to Venom. So, okay, maybe. I don't know.
And number 50 for Immortal Hulk
still bothers me because we're getting an end to Immortal Hulk, and I want more. Like, please, Al Ewing, please, I'll pay you. Give us more Immortal Hulk. Anyways, so is it good? Yeah, it's good. I mean, it's an okay story. It's Al Ewing doing what Al Ewing does, but honestly, do I like Immortal Hulk better? Yeah, I'm a giant Immortal Hulk fanboy. Next is Mamone, Bertolini, and Hopkins, and we're talking about issue number 1 from Image, Second Chances. So I'm going to go ahead and call this right now, okay? Are you ready? Oh, I forgot to give my DC pick of the week. Hold up. I got to do my DC pick of the week. You know what?
Isn't there a certain...
It's going to be Secret Files Clown Hunter.
Isn't there a certain Bat family number that you don't know?
Which one? I guess I didn't get a copy.
Oh.
I didn't get a copy of Nightwing, so we're not reviewing Nightwing, but it's probably Nightwing. If you come into our store and the DC pick of the week is Nightwing, then you know I found. I'm not ready for Immortal Hulk to end. Me neither, Lahaina. I'm very sad about it. Like broken heart. And I think that's part of my problem with the Gamma Flight book is like I like the book. It's a good book, but reading it reminds me that, oh no, Immortal Hulk's almost over. And it breaks my heart. Okay. So this is going to be my indie pick of the week. It's Second Chances. I did not know what to expect. I mean, the cover is kind of wild. Like you see a neon sign, Second Chances, and it's a smoky room. Singer in a smoky room. Smell of wine. No. Anyways, it's kind of cool. I didn't know what I was getting myself into, and I remember reading the synopsis and still not knowing what I was getting myself into. Well, I'm going to explain this to you in one simple way. If you watched Breaking Bad, the guy who pretty much Walter White gave money to go into hiding, to like shuffle him away and like to a cabin like out in the middle of nowhere where nobody would be able to find him. That's this guy's job. His job is to make people disappear for the right amount of money and to keep the family safe and actually sometimes to fake their deaths. Meanwhile, he's rubbed an assassin the wrong way and he's kind of got a number painted on his back. And there was so much action. And the art was amazing. I mean, stellar. Yes, it's all entirely black and white, but the way the artist used light and shadow, it was perfect. And I don't know, the action was it was absurdly cool. And I just mean like fun piled on top of fun, explosives. And the story itself was actually quite interesting. And I didn't know I wanted a story about a character like this. So indie pick of the week, I cannot gush about it enough. Second Chances was outstanding. So don't skip it. Do not skip that book. And trust me, we don't have enough copies. So come in and pick it up. Next is Michael Moorcock Elric, and this is the Dreaming City. I did not know much about this character, and so if this is a pre-existing character, forgive me. He's kind of a pale character that is sort of tied. I can't tell if he's tied to vampires, but the city that he comes from used to have human blood flowing freely about it, and he's got sort of a sentient sword. He looks, honestly, tell me that does not look like No with his sword. It kind of does, right?
Oh, is that
Elric? Yeah, Elric? Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, it's kind of it's a cool character, and the story itself, it's a fantasy story that, well, I mean, it's not going to be my fantasy pick of the week because there's a Critical Role book on the shelf this week, but it was a close second. The fantasy is really good, and the writer can turn a pretty good phrase, and I wasn't bored with it. The art was, well, it felt very Hellboy, which I'm partial to that, you know? So, yeah, I felt like Magnolia. It was good. Had a good time. If you need a fantasy book, if you need 2 fantasy books this week, make this the second, because the first should absolutely be Critical Role. I'm sorry. It's just my take on it. Kyle Higgins, Marcelo Costo with Natalia Marquez and Becca Carey, and we're talking about Radiant Black. Well, the last issue found pretty much the team coming together just in time to be ambushed by the Green Ranger. No, it is a very
close to it.
Very Power Rangers book that seems totally inspired by Power Rangers, and I mean, they look like Power Rangers, and they got ambushed like the early Power Rangers did. It felt really similar. Granted, they all have different powers, and they're all sort of trying to like piece things together. Well, we get to find out the most magnificent thing in this issue, and that is that you can vomit through your helmet. Apparently you can. So now when the Green Ranger played that flute knife, and it made those sounds, we all know that he could do it because it went through the helmet. Because one of the writer or art, was it writer or artist? It's a writer for Power Rangers was on this. Yeah, Kyle Higgins. So he says that's how that happens. Anyway, so I had a good time with it. The characters all have different powers, so it's kind of fun, and they're sort of coming to terms with, like, you know, their issues, and one of them almost already died, and we had somebody substitute in Radiant Black. The story is totally not boring. It's a fun ride. Cam loves it. And if Cam gives a seal of approval, it's a good book. Trust me. Look at the back art. My God, that is outstanding. Next issue is Mallory Reeves, Gabrielle Cianello, and Natalia Toretto, and we're talking about Nightmare Before Christmas. Now, the last issue kind of hinted that what happens if all the holiday doors open, and I thought for sure they were going to continue with that, but no, there is another mystery here, a rather strange one, and I had a great time with it. I was surprised. Like, I thought for sure they were going to show their hand, like, right away, but no, this went off on a completely different tangent. Good writing. Is it fun? Yes, it's fun. I mean, and the art is, well, it's Nightmare Before Christmas. I mean, like, if you don't like Nightmare Before Christmas, I'd have to question whether or not you have a soul. It's fun. It will be on our shelves. You know who you are if you like that sort of thing. Plus, I don't know, if you can't fully commit to Tokyo Pop manga, like you're like, I just don't want to read the wrong way. Well, this is really Americanized manga, so you can't go wrong with it, and it's still Tokyo Pop.
They even tell you how to read it in the back.
Do they?
Yeah.
Well, no, that's on the manga stuff. Like, this one's the right way. So, anyways,
is it?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, wow.
Next is Gronbeck, Salazar, and Prianto, and we're talking about Warhammer 40K, Sisters of Battle. Now, I know about as much about the Warhammer universe as I do rocket science, which is bare minimum. This one centers around Inquisitors, which I'm assuming are like the Space Marines, just like the female versions. And I don't know, I got like a hint of BDSM in it. It was very strange at times. But they have to sort of deal with their own wickedness and fighting on the front lines. And it's Warhammer. Guns and swords and oversized power armor is what you get here. I need to defer to somebody who knows Warhammer. Do you guys know Warhammer?
A bit.
What do you know about these characters?
I follow it on TikTok. But with that character in particular, I know nothing about.
Do you know about the Inquisitors?
I know that they are one of the classes that you deal with over there.
They're one of the classes.
Yeah, because you got Space Marines, and then you've got the Holy Order of the Space Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
well, they're fighting chaos. And I know the chaos stuff.
Yeah.
Cam-
the undead.
All I know is that it's led by a Koya and a bunch of other females.
And they travel through space.
It's a Koya?
Going through hell.
Is that actually a Koya?
Koya's right there.
It just looks like her.
No, that's a Koya. No, it's Marvel's sisters in arms for that series. It's a Marvel book, dude.
I know it's a Marvel book, but is that actually a Koya?
Yeah, it's a Koya.
What? I don't understand how they're doing this.
I
Okay.
now know nothing.
Okay, I don't know what. Okay. The only thing I know about the Warhammer universe that I really, really like is, do you know how the orcs' vehicles' wheels move?
Is it like flashless?
No, they move because they believe they will move, and so they do.
That's excellent.
It's like, what? Anyways, Jeff Nelson could probably play this a lot better. I don't know. If you like Warhammer, you'll probably like it. The art is it's Warhammer. I mean, it feels like Aliens, but like the Alien style of comics, but with Warhammer themes. Next is Carla Pacheco, Perry Perez, Frank Darmada, and we're talking about the amazing Spider-Woman. There's so much good here. Don't you hate it when your former friends turn out to be mad scientists? I hate it. That's kind of, honestly, let's be honest. For Jessica Drew, this is par for the course, is it not? Everyone she trusts winds up biting her in the butt. I mean, for Christ's sake, at the beginning of this road, like, wasn't it like her mom or something?
Her mom, her brother.
Mom, her brother, yeah. So there's more of that betrayal in this. But I got to tell you, the way she handles it is, it's funny and it works, but it's never quite that healthy. She's just like, I'm going to punch my way out of this situation and address this later. I love it. There's so much good chaos in Spider-Woman that if you are a fan of that sort of thing, you will have such a good time. There's fun. They're rechanging a lot of her lore. She has I like her look now. There's so much good here. So if you're a Spider-Woman fan, you will love this. If you are a Spider-Man fan and you are looking for something that is better than Nick Spencer's run, in my opinion, yeah, I'm throwing shade, but it's true. Spider-Woman is amazing. Next is Man-Eaters the Cursed. Now, this is Chelsea Kane, Leah Mindernick, Kate Nemechik, Rachel Rosenberg, and Joe Carmagna. We're talking about Man-Eaters the Cursed. Now, the last issue centered around, two kids went to camp, and when they were at camp, like, the rest of the campers disappeared. Now we're going to sort of get explained why it happens. And I can't really talk much about it without spoiling it. But the way it plays out is super intriguing and fun, and involves, I don't know, the way the camp was marketed. It's honestly a shocker. I didn't expect this book to go this way. The first book was like, that's kind of a mystery. This one is, wow, that is mind-blowing. You'll love this. You'll absolutely love this. So don't skip it. The art is outstanding. The storyline it went in a direction I just didn't expect, and it's fun. It's ridiculously fun. So you will love this. Trust me. Just go buy it. Just go buy it. Even if you missed the first one, go buy this issue. You will have a good time. Is it my pick of the week? No, close second, but it was pretty darn good. Sarah Gailey, Pius Bach, and Roman Titov. This is Eat the Rich. Now, I cannot talk about a number one without spoiling some things. So if that's a problem for you, you probably need to skip ahead or mute for the next 2 minutes. So here's the breakdown. This centers around, obviously eating the rich. But who do you think is eating the rich?
Vampires?
Nope.
Zombies.
Nope.
Cannibals?
I'm going to give you a slight premise. There's a gal, she's not rich, and she's sort of dating a rich guy and going on vacation. And she comes to find that, there's kind of a secret society at work here. And
Talk about the skulls.
sort of. And she's sort of warned that, hey, like, you need to, like, not carry your own bags and don't treat the help like they're people or you're not going to make it. It's like, what? So I probably spoiled too much, but that's the bare minimum I can say about this book. If that sounds intriguing, yes, go get it. I was hooked. It's not my indie pick of the week. It's super, super close, but the art is great. The story, well, I mean, again, it's Boom. Nothing bad art-wise ever comes out of Boom. The story is outstanding. I mean, I was hooked. And more importantly, like, one of my takeaways is the way this artist writes laughter is very chaotic. And I want that artist in particular to draw the Joker, because the way the laughter looks, like crawling off the page, reminds me of the Joker. It was outstanding. What a good read. Just amazing. Oh my God, I need to pick a pick of the week from Marvel. Let me look through everything. Oh, okay. Okay. No, I know what it's going to be. Next, it's not this one. I don't have the artist here because I grabbed the wrong copy. Dang it! I don't have the artist. And who's writing Moon Knight right now? McKay? McKay. I can't remember who the artist is, but the cover artist for this one is Peach Momoko. This is the variant. I thought the variant was gorgeous, so this is going to be my copy. But this is Moon Knight, issue number 2. Now, the first Moon Knight dealt with him dealing with, well, a vampire pyramid scheme. And yes, we got no less than 2 moon drops, one of which he was dropping out of the sky with the cape curled like it's supposed to be, punching through a windshield, which is so cool. And then on top of that, during the day, he's Mr. Knight, which is so cool. And then on top of that, his assistant is a vampire that fell victim to the pyramid scheme, which is so cool. I love everything about this Moon Knight run. It's so good. But this issue in particular is going to center around somebody trying to control minds. And so he's kind of up against a hive mind, which is another thing I really love in fiction, hive minds. So we're going to see how that plays out. Was it great? Yes, it was outstanding. Had a great time with this. The art is amazing. The story is amazing. And issue 2 did not slow down. This is how I want a Moon Knight run. I want him to get outnumbered. I want him to throw punches. I want him to outsmart people in the most wicked and wrong and twisted ways. You're getting all of this in this Moon Knight run. It's exactly how it should be written. Having a great time. Don't skip it. Not my pick of the week. I'm the biggest Moon Knight fan, and that's not my pick of the week, which should tell you something. Next is McKay, Via, and Reber, and we're talking about Black Cat. I love this cover. Yogi, have you seen this cover? I honestly want this as a tattoo. Oh my God, dude. Star going one way and Black Cat going the other. That's amazing. Anyways, this centers around, well, the last issue, not the issue, the annual. We had there was the most amazing fight. Black Cat up against Nick Fury in a giant fight that was brutal and fun, and it was exactly what I wanted out of a Nick Fury fight. It was outstanding. But the reason being was Black Cat was trying to rescue Star. Why? Because she needs her for what, Yogi? A heist. A heist. Of course. She needs her for a heist. More importantly, this issue, we're going to find out that she needs other folks tied to the Infinity Stone.
Is it going to be a heist group?
Maybe, but she definitely needs more than one. And one of them is a character that, one of them is a character I don't really like all that much. But it is what it is. So, anyways, is it good? Yes, it's great. The way it plays, the writing, McKay's writing is so good. The way the guy writes dialogue is just, it feels real and it's fun. The art is great. On top of that, watching Star get played. Look, Star has all this power, but she's not bright. Let's be honest. She's not bright. She would have beat Captain Marvel had she just kept her mouth shut. Do you realize that? Like, if she just walked away and not said anything, like, she would have been fine. She's not the smartest of villains. We saw that too in Thunderbolts. And, well, I mean, she tried to be a hero and then sort of went back to villain and then just kind of on the fence. But anyways, so we're gonna see her get played. It makes sense. I mean, you put yourself up against Felicia Hardy, she's gonna win. It's outstanding. Had a good time. You will love it. Honestly, the actions. There's not a lot of action in this issue, not enough. But the way it's written is really fun. You'll have a good time. If you're a Black Cat fan, I guarantee you love this run. Next is Howard Foch and Go, and we're talking about XCore. Now, I love these XCore covers. They're so minimalist and beautiful. I don't know what it is, but those covers just sell me on the book. Meanwhile, the book itself has Jamie Madrox in as a mad scientist, which if ever there was a role for multiple, man, that's perfect. And we also get, Angel and who else is it? Monet? Angel and Monet are the two execs that are running XCore. And we find out, too, in this issue in particular, that mutants are far more brutal than normal executives would be. I mean, I guess it makes sense. When you're one of your traditions for Krakoa is the Crucible, I guess you're going to be a little bit more brutal. They touch on that in this. Well, but I don't know. I'm a little biased, and I see it with rose-colored lenses. Whenever Jamie Madrox Multiple Man is used for anything, I'm like, oh, that book is amazing. So did I have a good time? Yes, I had a good time. Did this one have a lot of action? Yes, it had a lot of action. The art was good. The story was, it was okay. The story was okay. I'm going to tell you that, I don't know, the reason for some characters doing some things in this were kind of a little weak. But it felt like a good excuse for action, which I'm usually okay with. I had a good time with it. I think you will too. But really, if you're reading the X books on the shelf, XCore is a good one. It's not as rough as Hellions was at the beginning, but it is a starting novel. I mean, it's a newer book. I would say start with probably X-Men these days. What do you think is the best X book on the shelf? It's not Excalibur. It's not Hellions. Marauders. It's Marauders.
I would say mainline X-Men, but that just kind of started.
Yeah, it just got restarted. So I'd say Marauders is probably what you start with. Go with Marauders, then sort of filter through, and then get to XCore. I will say I'd pick it above Hellions, and I'd pick it above... No, probably not X-Force. I'm actually having a good time with X-Force these days.
Or if you want to start from the very, very beginning.
House of X, Powers of X.
Come pick up House of X, Powers of X.
Yeah.
One left.
We have one left, and it is outstanding, a masterpiece. Next is Cantwell, Unzueta, and Damata, and we're talking about Iron Man. Oh, Iron Man. Man, not enough people buy you off the shelf, and we've talked about how we think it's because when casual fans see that Iron Man is dead in the movies, they assume he's dead in the comics. Well, he's not dead. He's just really friggin' injured with a broken back and can't take off his suit right now. And he finds himself in another realm where Stilt Man is a hero for a village, and he's trying to make sense of it and get to the bottom of why these large, Ultimo creatures are attacking. Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts. Is it fun? Yes, it's fun. I'm having a great time with it. It's gone everywhere, and Iron Man's team is still trying to figure out where he's at right now. It's all types of fun. But I will say, if you are a fan of some of the galactic powers, and keep in mind, there's not a lot of galactic powers left standing in Marvel, is there? Galactus is dead.
Oh, yeah, he got ranked in there.
Oh, Uatu's back alive. Uatu came back to life.
Is it Uatu or are we talking about?
Oh, it's full-blown Uatu.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he took his eye back from Nick Fury Sr., the man on the wall.
That's still so weird to me.
So he's back. But there is a cosmic power that we haven't seen for a minute who will be popping up in this. Yeah, so is it good? Yeah, it's great. I had a good time with it. It's fun. The art is outstanding. Out-freaking-standing. Not enough people are paying attention to that book, though, and it really kind of breaks my heart. Next is going to be my Marvel pick of the week. Williams, Wernick, and Delgado. The Trial of Magneto. Yes, the Trial of Magneto. Now, we all know that Scarlet Witch is killed. And what's the reason they can't bring her back to life?
They never said.
They never said, but there's some reason they can't bring her back to life.
The end of X Factor was like the end of the gala. They found her dead, and they were just, and Wolverine was like, "Where's Magneto?" Because
yeah. So everything is pointing to Magneto, including like X-Force has been tapped, and even Eyes and Polaris sort of sense that there is something metal involving this, and somehow she's been killed. Well, Magneto doesn't appreciate being framed, but the problem is what do you do when pretty much all of the mutants are accusing you of being the big bad and you're Magneto? Do you just stand there and go through the court case? That's not really his way. Let's all be honest. But do you get a really amazing fight with Magneto involving most of Krakoa? Yes. It's absurdly cool, way fun, and the action was amazing. The art was outstanding. And this is leading to an actual trial. We're going to see how it goes. Meanwhile, Scarlet Witch, well, I don't know. Some things might be revealed in this issue, sort of. A greater mystery too, but something's going to be revealed. So there's so much to unpack here. It was great. The dialogue was great. The art was great. The action was great. It's just written exactly what I wanted. This is how I wanted it. I didn't want Magneto to just get like a mutant, a Krakoan version of a trial and to sort of sit there and outsmart them. I don't care about that. Whenever comics go to trials, I get itchy and just think, the Clone Saga for the OG Spider-Man. So I don't want that. I want a full-blown fight and some build-up to it, and that's what you get. It's outstanding. It's our Marvel Pick of the Week. Do not skip it. Next is Spencer, Breeson, Bagley, Gomez, Carlos, Reber, and Crossley, and we're talking about Sinister War. Now, I did say that the Sinister War issue number 1 was pretty good. It had 2 versions of the Sinister Six team. What is it? Sinister Six and it's Sinister Six and what's the other team that's fighting there? Do you remember? Well, I'm going to tell you right now, slight spoiler, you're going to get 3 teams fighting, and it's actually, the action's great. The action's great. The problem I have is Nick Spencer can't stop being Nick Spencer, and we're going to get more Sin Eater stuff. And is it great? Not really. I thought we put this to rest, sort of, and now we're rolling back to it. And I don't know. I don't like Centipede. What's Centipede Man's name again? I always forget.
Oh.
Revenant or something, or
Yeah.
something. I don't like the character.
Death Eater.
No, that's Sin Eater. Anyways, is it good? Well, the action's good. The art, I'm still kind of on the fence about, and I'm not sure why. I don't know. For Spider-Man, this always feels too gritty to me. But no, actually looking at it again, I like the art. I changed my mind. I like the art. The art's good. I'm being too critical of art this week. But the story, the action's good. The story's not. I'm so sick of this Sin Eater stuff. I wish we'd get it over with. Anyways, I guess we are going to get it over with, right? When's Spencer's run up? 75. So 74. Ticking clock. Anyways, if you like Spider-Man, you might like it. I don't know. I've heard from a lot of Spider-Man fans that come in and they're like, I don't like Nick Spencer's run. And I'm like, Anyways, Soleil, Rosanas, and Rosenberg, and we're talking about Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters. I'm just going to talk about both of these because we have the War of the Bounty Hunters book and we have the Star Wars book, and they're all taking place involving War of the Bounty Hunters, which is, well, a bunch of people have met to bid at an auction to bid on Han Solo. Part of them is Crimson Dawn. Everybody's freaked out about Crimson Dawn, but then Darth Vader shows up. And everybody really should have been worried about Vader all along. Let's be honest. You don't count Vader out. So the reading order for this is I'd say read Star Wars first because it centers around how Luke sort of in the X-Wing got too close to the event and what happened. And then the event is what takes place in the Star Wars War of the Bounty Hunters issue. Are they good? Yeah, they're great. We're going to see a fight between Vader and another character that I would have never thought would have fought. And we get to see a fight. Look, I'm just going to spoil it for you right now. A fight between Boba Fett and Chewbacca. Yes. A fight between Boba Fett and Chewbacca. What do you think Lando's doing during the fight? What do you think? No, he's taking bets. Oh my God. So come on. A fight between Boba Fett and Chewbacca. Who doesn't want that? We all want that. It's outstanding. Go buy them. If you're a Star Wars fan, you're probably already fully on board. Although I got to tell you, that auction has been like 6 books now, hasn't it?
It kind of has.
It has.
Like,
it's starting
like
War
of the Bounty Hunters #1, Dr. Aphra, Darth Vader, it's expanded throughout
And they keep just going over the auction like over and over again. Like push past that. But is it good? Yeah, it's good. This next book, Spurrier, Quinn, Tartaglia. Ooh, God, was this a close second for my pick of the week. So close. Way of X. Now, we finally figured out who the big bad was a couple issues back. It's Onslaught. And, well, here's what happened. In the last issue, Professor X wound up being in a room with Legion, and he said, like, you know what is causing all this chaos. And Legion's like, yes, but I can't tell you, and don't pull it from my mind, because if you pull it from my mind, he will destroy everyone and everything in this room. And Professor X did not heed that warning. Yeah, at all. So some big bad has happened. Meanwhile, Legion is back out on Mars right now, and Legion has 2 X-Men villains sort of sitting right next to him. And they're like, if you even show signs of going back to your old ways or losing your mind or something, we're going to kill you instantly. And he's asked them to be there, which is dope. Meanwhile, he's trying to get across to Nightcrawler what he needs to do to birth the New Mutant religion. And Nightcrawler himself is trying to figure out, both Legion and Nightcrawler are trying to figure out how Onslaught is messing with the mutants, how he is actually changing them and making them this aggressive. So, yeah, it's awesome. There's a lot of moving parts, but it's fun. It's super intriguing. I really want to know where they're going, and I have no idea how they're going to top this book in particular. It was outstanding. Almost my pick of the week. Such a close second for Marvel pick of the week. It was mind-blowing. Do not skip it, but Magneto, the trial of Magneto, just barely beat it. There's plenty of action in this. The art is amazing. The story is amazing. But I don't think has there been a Way of X book that I didn't like? Not one. Almost certain. Cam, are you reading Way of X?
Yes, I am.
It's outstanding, isn't it?
Reading Way of X, XCore, Marauders.
What do you think about it? Like Way of X?
It's different. I'm glad that Nightcrawler's kind of gotten back to get some shine.
Yeah, right? And it's weird to see that Nightcrawler and Legion make the best team. Like, they really make a good team. It works, but you're like, this shouldn't work. This shouldn't work at all, and somehow it totally does. Next is Boer, Balbani, Saxon, and Gattani, and this is Killer Queens. And yeah, it says Queens, and it's a rainbow, and I'm going to tell you that they ride around in a rainbow ship. So, okay, there's LGBT representation in this book, LGBTQ representation in this book. It's good. I mean, it's good. There's nothing wrong with that, but I always get a little iffy where I'm like, is the whole premise of the book centering around representation? It's not. It's absolutely not. There's an old style sci-fi element to this, so they even have like old style sci-fi blasters, and the story takes precedence. So that's what I want. I have no problem with representation, but I want the book and the story to be able to stand on its own. I want the action to be what takes precedence in that story. And it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. As a straight guy, I have zero problems with this book in any way. I had a really, really fun time with it. I love these characters. I was super hooked. And the sci-fi element was great. Like, it was just, this is how you tell a sci-fi story. So, nothing to complain about here. And I think that if you are anyone, if you are LGBTQ or straight or whatever your preference, you're going to find a great science fiction novel with good representation here. And that's great. Honestly, do not skip it. It's not my indie pick of the week, but it was a really fun time. And honestly, from Dark Horse, like, Dark Horse has not been having some bangers on the shelf lately. So this is a great, great book. Do not skip it. Fun ride. Next is, oh man, oh no, I already reviewed Gamma Flight. I just really like this variant. Look at that. It's Absorbing Man. What's his name again? I can't remember this guy's name. But yeah, it's outstanding. Dugan, Fiorelli, and Burita. And this is Marauders. Look, I gotta tell you, like most of this book, I mean, it centers around the Marauders teams, pretty much the Red Queen and the White Queen coming together, and there's a bunch of action, but that didn't take the center stage for this. the Cuckoo's sort of righting some wrong in this was probably my favorite part of that. And there was only like the last 3 pages, but really it's just great. The way Dugan writes like dialogue and exchanges between characters just really, really fits. It's very poignant. The art is great. I probably said that word wrong. Anyways, the art is great. The story's fun. Honestly, it's typical Marauders, though. Like, I don't pick up a Marauders book and I'm bored. That just never happens. So, yeah, it's a great read. Yogi, your laptop needs power before we lose YouTube.
Okay.
Thank you. Next is Josh Lee Gordon, Fabiana Mascola, and you know what? I want to gush about this book again. Like, as far as science fiction books are concerned, this one was outstanding. Like, I reached the end of it and I wanted more. Next is Josh Lee Gordon, Fabiana Mascola, and Lucia Di Giamarino. This is Firefly Brand New Verse, and this is issue 6. So, is this the end of Brand New Verse? I think it is. I think it is. It seemed like it reached the end, and it was a logical conclusion. Firefly's still running, although it seems like we were slowing down on issues, weren't we? For a minute there. Anyways, so Brand New Verse. Look, okay, I'm going to tell you what happened in the last issue, and that we finally got to see her come back. River was finally back in the last issue. And are you going to get to see River belt out in this issue? Come on, it's in issue 6. Of course you are. Plus, I really love Zoe's family and pretty much the new team mixed with the old team. And the way her daughter handles some things in this issue is it's Zoe. Like, you can tell it's Zoe 2.0. It was absurdly cool. So I loved everything about this comic. The art was great. The story is great. The way the story ended is perfect. More importantly, we get another young kid with special powers that it just comes out of nowhere at the end of this. So yeah. And it's not the same powers as River, but you're going to have to read it and find out. It was really cool. Anyways, I'm fully on board. Brand New Verse is getting a new series, right? Like, it's a TV series coming, Yogi. Yes? No?
I heard animation.
Animation?
Yeah.
I guess we're getting animation. I thought it was like a full-blown TV series.
You know, I think I heard like it was the animation.
I hope it's a full-blown TV series. I want to see that. Next is Kelly Lansing, Magno, Gruntegern, and we're talking about Kang the Conqueror. Now, I didn't say that this wasn't my pick of the week, and it's a number 1, and it's Kang, and it's coming on the heels of Loki, and yeah, the story's pretty good. It's not the best story, but look, okay, we all know that Kang sort of is not a linear timeline, so this is pretty much the Kang origin story, how he sort of mentored himself, and if you know Kang, you're going to know that Kang can be most brutal to Kang, and that's the God's honest truth. So, yeah, we're going to see how that plays out. I had a good time with it. It's hard to discuss it without discussing spoilers because it's number 1. But this one, look, Kang has spent time in Egypt. We know that. He's gone back pretty much to the birth of man. We're going to see how all of that happens. And maybe his timeline sort of syncs up with that timeline. We're going to have to see. Is it good? Yeah, it's great. The art is great. It's just not pick of the week great, is all I'm going to say. Next is Older, Talabo, and Nalti. This is Star Wars High Republic Adventures. I don't know. I got to tell you, the Hutt Cartel has really sort of taken center stage in these Star Wars High Republic books. Like, they show up, they're fighting, they're sort of twisting and doing some back alley deals and moving stuff behind the scenes. And I'm going to call it and say the best part about Star Wars High Republic Adventures, in my opinion, is the Hutt Cartel. Is there action? Plenty of action. There's just a bunch of betrayal and a bunch of fun stuff with that. And you're going to have to read it to find out. It's fun. It's fun. The art is good. The story is good. Nothing to complain about. Next is, look, the High Republic Adventure is Saber for Hire. I didn't realize that character was once a Jedi. She's no longer a Jedi. The pink saber gal was once a Jedi and now is a monster hunter. So when I said it was like Star Wars crossed with Dungeons and Dragons. That's really what it is. Next is Al Ewing, Juan Frigeri, and Federico Blee. We're talking about Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh, man, can you imagine anything worse than Dormammu and Ego's giant head being the next Annihilation? Well, the Guardians are going to deal with it. Unfortunately, the Guardians team is kind of split. Well, one team says part of the team says we should side with Doom and go with his plan. And the other part of the team is like, no, Doom's evil, you jerks. Don't do that. If you do that, you're going to regret it. And I'm happy to say that they sort of see why they probably shouldn't. And it's funny. It's really funny. But what do you think is Rocket's plan to fight a giant planet?
He was a gigantic ass bomb.
Well, his plan is to get a giant gun and shoot it in the face. And Gamora's like, yeah, but Rocket, I mean, like, what should we actually do? And he's like, no, that's my plan. Anyways, there's a lot of moving parts, but I can definitely say that the end of this book, when I turned the page, I gasped. There is something very shocking at the end of this book. Cam, can I show it to you? And you can gasp?
Does that have to do with a certain cat?
No. I'm going to show it to Cam. I'm not going to show anyone else. You ready?
Oh my God.
Oh, shit.
So, you got to buy this book because the end of the book, the reveal is it's shocking. It's a gigantic, shocking ending. Don't skip it. But it's really good Guardians writing, like really fun. Great stuff. Next is going to be, I'm gonna make this my fantasy pick of the week because I love this book. Matthew Mercer, Jody Hauser, Olivia Sampson, Diana Sousa, Arietta Mar, and we're talking about Critical Role, Vox Machina. Now, well, the Critical Role group has won a gladiator tournament, and they finally got money. And one of them even remarks like, hey, holidays are better when you have money. And the other one's like, well, everything is better when you have money. From the Critical Role stuff, maybe I'm mistaken. But is it fun? Yes, it's really, really fun. Had a good time with it. So fantasy pick of the week. The art is amazing. The story is amazing. The dialogue is amazing. Nothing to complain about. Next is, is this a variant? This is a variant. This is the Infinite Destinies Miles Morales annual. Now, Miles has gone through some stuff, but one of the things he hasn't done is he hasn't hung out with a character more tied to Kamala Khan in the form of Amulet. Amulet is it's a lesser-known character that really has only cropped up in, I think, Miss Marvel. I can't think of Amulet being in anything else. No. But he's going to get some play in this. And on top of that, there's a ton of action and at least 2, maybe 3 villains in this issue. And them sort of, hanging out in Brooklyn trying to, do the street level stuff. So it's good Miles stuff. I had a good time with that. More importantly, I had a better time with Nick Fury in the back of this issue getting the best of Nighthawk. Yeah. So the Nick Fury Infinite Destiny stuff that's been running in the back issues of all these Infinite Destiny stuff is outstanding. And I really don't like Nighthawk, but I really love Nick Fury. So yeah, you'll love that. I'm sorry, that might have been a little spoilery, but I had a really good time with it. I think you will too. So don't skip. Miles is always good though. I never say a bad thing about Miles at all. Can you think of a bad issue of Miles? He's gone through so much, Cam, hasn't he?
Too much.
Like we did the typical, like we had at one point where Miles was like out of web and needed to get across town and like fight off a bunch of villains, and it was him and his uncle, right. And that was joke. That's the running the gauntlet like standard trope.
No, he got captured by that.
Yep, he got captured and then he got experimented on, which was twisted and messed up, but he escaped. Then that led to the Clone Saga, which was outstanding. God, he's gone through a lot.
He went through some shit with Champions.
Yeah, but it's been nothing but fun.
Sure.
Nothing but fun. Anyways, next is a book. Honestly, guys, I have to speed read these books to get through them all, and I was thoroughly confused. J. Michael Straczynski, who's one of my favorites, and Mike Choi, and this is Moss. Now, all I'm going to say is don't start on issue number 3. I was trying to figure it out, and it involves, I don't know, psychic powers, a ballerina show, possibly a serial killer, and
So Black Widow.
Yeah, there's so much weirdness going on in the. It didn't quite make sense, but what I will tell you is, if you liked Pearl, you like that style of art. The inner parts of the book felt very, very similar. Like the way this artist does their style, it feels like sort of. I don't know. There's just something captivating about that type of art. You really need to see it. So the art sold me on the book. The story, I was confused. So don't start with issue 3 is probably all I'm going to say. And again, it's a Straczynski story. He weaves one hell of a web. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say about that. Go back a couple issues. Don't start with issue 3. But is it good? Yeah, it's great. That's my show for this week. I shouldn't say mine. That's our show for this week. You have no idea how much these other guys work so that I can get through the reading throughout the day, but I sure appreciate it. And anything else to add?
I could use a foot rub.
Yogi could use a foot rub. Cam, anything else to add? You good?
Nothing, man.
What
What
if tonight?
if tonight? Don't skip what if. And it's probably going to be Cam's favorite.
It's probably, I'm waiting for that King Killmonger one.
Also, the DLC
Oh,
pack
that's
for
right.
Black Panther.
Oh, the DLC pack for Black Panther drops on the Avengers game, right? Yeah. What's the name of that Avengers game? Oh, it's just Marvel's Avengers? I played it and didn't like it, but Cam loves it.
I watched you play it too.
That's a child of Star Wars gonna be tearjerking.
You know what it is? Like, I'll bet you money it's just my bias that went into it. Like, I like Marvel stuff, but I don't love it. And I know that when I pick up Gotham Knights, I'm going to be, like, in love with that game.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm mad I got delayed. I can't wait.
Oh, man, I can't wait.
He's playing aliens with me.
Anyways, we'll see you guys. I'll play Aliens with you. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you, Green Machine friends and fans of fun. We love you guys. Thanks for the support. Gotta end everything. Hi, people on Instagram. Sorry, bye. And done.
That's a child of Star Wars gonna be a tearjerker, dude. It's not even gonna.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tearjerker.